episode 5, probably the most talked about episode of the entire series, is a full 30-minute oneer, the whole episode. And I thought that was a really interesting choice. I'd love to hear from your perspective. First of all, was that always the intention, is to have episode 5 be a oneer?
The script is written as such.
Okay.
And then you know how it is, man. Like you get closer and people start to like, I don't want to say they get scared, but they start to question it or second guess it a little bit.
What about you? Did you
No,
fall into that camp?
I was always about it, but I finally got the stage. The stage was built and I finally get in there, but I walked this set with Ryan and he was like, "What are you thinking?" And I started it with more of a movement, like bringing her from the door and then going like a true like oner where I could like come off of her and then go on to him. But I think it's like sometimes in these situations, as a cinematographer, you only get one chance to plead your case or to make your pitch. And you have to really be conscious of like how you're doing it. In hindsight, I think when I was doing this, I think it gave him a feeling of like a serpent. That's what he said. And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to do anything like serpentine. Like I don't." And he's like, "If we do that, I just rather, we just do cuts." And I was like, no. You have to do it as a oner. It has to be a oner. It's like just so strong as a oner for a performance. And I always think of like Hunger, Steve McQueen movie. They shot 2 perf and they have the backbone of film and only film. And there's a 50-50 on the table that's 20 minutes long, which is 1,000-foot roll, 2 perf. So just the intensity. I hate cutting. No disrespect to the editors, but I don't like it. Every time you cut, you're forcing a perspective or you're taking somebody out, and you're telling somebody where to look, rather than just like, I'm just holding on you right now. Like, so after a while I can look and I can see there's a monkey in the background and I can kind of become a little bit one with the environment because I have the time to do that. Just like somebody might be like, there's that plant is almost touching my head. When you're constantly cutting, I think you take the audience's ability to think out of the equation and you force them to think. So I was definitely opposed to it. Then we finally got a director and he did a rehearsal and he was second guessing it and wondering. And I was just like, oh, bro, like just keep it as one, keep it as one. And I think if I was we did like 7 takes. I think the take that we chose as we passed her, I kept the frame and I dragged it as much as I could so you could feel her. You could feel her and the intensity of her point of the story, talking about her father, and then pass. So it was as close as I got to doing that. But it was a lot of dialogue, a lot of preparation. Cooper was like, he's a young, hungry actor. And I'm sure his whole life has changed, as rightfully so. It's tripped me out a bit that's the one in terms of photography that seems to get the most discussion.
Why?
Because it's like it's so simple. There's nothing. What I had was a world-class, my dolly grip Charlie, and we had a motion control rig that we could manually control, and he just had the script, and we knew where we needed to be at what point and when we wanted to land. So it's technical, but in terms of like the scope of it or the range of it or the challenge, it's like we did so many, like we did different periods in episode 6. There's so much, like, I think, lighting that I'm really proud of. And it's like everybody, like my friends, everyone's talked about 5. And I'm like, it's weird because you're just like, it's really, you know, he's just pushing it.
You always hear like, well, it's just, if there's not good acting, not good writing, no one cares. It is amazing how, after all is said and done, that is what people respond to, is just
Yeah, it's tripped me
storytelling.
out.